Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
Hey, what up, man?
I know. Very delayed there from you. What's going on? You all right?
Yeah, I had a message pop up right when that shit started, and I'm noticing I'm crooked on the camera, man. I gotta get my screens readjusted. There we go. See, there we go. Now I'm good.
Okay. Uh, anyway, big week, big week. You know what I'm saying? What up?
Big
What up,
week or
y'all?
just another week in the NFL for this season?
Hmm.
Big week or just another week in the NFL for this
Well, for
season?
some people, it's just another week more losing. You know what I mean? For some people, it's more winning. Depends.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean,
You
I
know,
guess that's true.
glass half empty. Well, listen, man.
I just know you're not talking to my team, so that's how
You,
like
I mean, you're right. I'm not talking to your team
yeah.
because there's only one team that hasn't lost in 2025, and that would be who? Who would that be, Sean?
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to throw me some hints, some clues.
Mm.
I'm not 100% sure. You know,
Oh, it's the nation's bird.
the nation's bird.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there was a team called the Bald Eagles.
Okay, sure.
You know,
There's only one Eagle team, so.
yeah, there's an Eagles team. I didn't know they were called the
What
Bald.
did you
It's
did
the
you know
nation's
that?
bird. No, I just
Did you know that the eagle is in? It's not a golden eagle.
it could be any type of eagle,
Or
Mark.
no,
I'm not
no, it
sure.
can't. It can't be because
I'm not sure.
they do in fact have a mascot.
Look, man,
So it
I
can't.
didn't happen to see a yellow beak on that thing. I'm trying to figure out what kind of eagle that is.
Okay, right, right,
Oh, okay. But if you tell me it's a bald eagle, Mark, we'll go with
right,
that.
right, right. I
You
mean, they
know.
do have a. His name is Swoop. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And
Yeah.
then they do in fact have a mascot, and also they release the same bird before games, and it flies back.
Yeah. No,
Maybe you've seen it.
I've seen it. It's
Maybe you've
pretty
seen
dope.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you like the Tim Meadows character in Peacemaker, and they can't identify birds? Is that what's going on here?
No, that's not. But I will say this: it's just you threw me off by saying the nation's bird. You know, it just sounded kind of like America's team. You know, it also sounded like the nation's capital. I'm just saying it just sounded really close to some of the things I've heard from fans of other teams, Mark, and it just kind of threw me off. That's all.
Well, I mean, well, it is in fact the nation's bird. I don't know what else to say. That
Yeah.
is
Well,
like
what do you no?
it's
What
not
do
it's not a nickname. That's what the eagle is.
no. I hear you, but what I'm saying is, you said, oh, you don't know the team, and then you said the nation's bird. No, I know of a team called the Philadelphia Eagles. You didn't say that, Mark. So threw me off a little bit, but it also throws me off when Cowboys fans say, "Oh, America's team." That doesn't tell me which team you're
Well,
talking
that's not a real thing. Like,
about. Hey, look, it is a real thing because it's trademark, Mark. It is trademark, so therefore it is real.
okay.
But
Anyway,
that's neither here nor there.
anyway, anyway, how y'all doing tonight, people that are watching? We got a show for you. We going to talk about divas. Um, whether or not that's justified, we're going to talk about injuries. We're going to get into some things. I don't predict this being a very long episode. So, Sean, you ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Where would you like to start, brother?
You know, let's just start. Let's start with the injuries first.
All
You
right.
know, and if we're gonna start with injuries, prayers up for Tyreek Hill, but I don't know if he needs my prayers, man.
Right. He
I
seems
saw
like his prayer's been answered.
it seemed like it, Mark. It's a weird, this Tyreek Hill injury has been a very peculiar thing, Mark. First off, we all saw it happen, right? We saw it, right?
Uh-huh.
Mark, that man's leg was twisted around in a way that it's not supposed to be, dog. He looked like a robot that got ran over, okay? And then we're seeing him get carted off. He has a big old smile on his face, right? Like he just hit the lottery. Maybe he did just hit the lottery. Maybe, Mark, he continues to get paid and doesn't have to play for the rest of the season. Maybe, right? So maybe, in football terms where contracts aren't guaranteed, but then they also can't not pay you because you're hurt, then maybe it is the lottery for them, Mark. But
Right.
when you're tired of getting hospital balls thrown to you from Tua Tagovailoa, then yes, maybe it is the lottery. Maybe when you don't have to be a part of the losing because you can say I had nothing to do with it. Maybe it is a holiday and maybe it is a lottery. But here's the thing, Mark. The other peculiar thing that comes from it is we all watched that tape when they said, "Nah, dog, it's just a sprain. He'll be back in a couple of weeks." And I'm like, "No, no, don't you got." And then it's like they're like, nah, he didn't tear anything. Mind you, this is coming out immediately, Mark. And I was
Yeah.
just like me and you both know, dog. Like there was no amount of testing you could have done in that time to tell me that the man is just gonna come back here in a few weeks or that he's gonna be okay or that nothing's torn. Okay. Now that was the other wild part of it. I'm watching him smile as he's being carted off. And then there was more pictures that showed up, Mark. He's smiling as he's like in the hallways going to the medical. He's smiling in the back of of the EMT vehicle. Mark,
Right.
he's
On the
smiling.
highway.
Okay, look, you say it's adrenaline, right? Okay, I believe that. But this has to be like 30 minutes to an hour later, man. He's out in the world now. That's not adrenaline, Mark. Somebody, because I literally saw somebody say, "Oh, well, something happens, your adrenaline goes up, it's endorphins, you just kind of, you know." Nah, that man was still. He probably still smiling right now, Mark. Okay, so what do you think that means? Is what I want to get to, Mark.
Well, before I say anything, I'm going to preface it by saying there's a chance that he could have been on morphine.
He could
Like,
have,
I mean, when
as
your
he was
knee
getting carted off.
when your knee is facing east and your ankle's facing west and your body is north to south, I think I think somebody shot him up immediately. Like, hey, dog, got to get this in him now. Like, there is a possibility. So I'm just going to say that before. But with that being said, I will go on to say Tyreek Hill told us last year he will not be playing for this team and he's out of there.
Hey, he
Hey,
got
guess
out there
what?
quicker than he thought, huh?
No, no. Guess what? He said, "You ain't going to make me a liar." he said, "You." He,
Hey, that's
he
funny.
said,
Yeah.
"You ain't going to make me a liar. I'm out of here, dog. I told you." He said, "Prayers up. We out. Woo to the Baja, and I'm getting paid in Miami. Getting paid in Miami for the year, and I'm out this joint. Thank you." He
That
said.
man.
He said,
Go ahead.
"Thank you. I need this."
I don't think he needs it, Mark.
He
He
got a
about to
divorce to
he
settle.
about to impregnate three more people. I don't think he needs this. I don't think what Tyreek Hill needs is more free time.
Yo, Bull was like, "Hey, man, go ahead and tell him." Like who said it? Hold on, let me get to the comments real quick. All right, real quick. Troy said, "No towel to head or nothing. He was on the phone smiling. Yeah, he was on his phone talking to Drew Rosenhaus, talking about, hey man, I need you to go ahead and leak that I lost a step, so they go ahead and trade me. All right, or go ahead and cut me for next year. They can't cut me right now. They can't trade me right now, but they could cut me next year.
Yeah.
So go ahead and tell them I lost a step, and then I can go ahead and get with somebody else." That's what he was on the phone smiling about. Like, yo, get me out of here. Either way, Doug. Here's the thing. Beyond that, though, beyond Tyreek,
Yeah.
I'm learning that there is a even more serious injury within the Dolphins organization,
What's
and
that?
that is the head of one Tua Tagovailoa. Doug, I don't. Every time he steps up to the press conference now, I'll be like, "You're not okay."
he's not even the same personality type that he was before. That's my first sign, bro.
Like like yeah, dog, you're right. But the thing is, like he after the Tyreek thing, he was like, yeah. After the Tyreek
Oh
thing,
yeah,
when after he was like, yeah, all praise to God. You know, we got out of here safe
most of
mostly.
us. Yeah,
Like I was like, dog, what is
casually
you
said it
on?
too. Just casually said it. I'm like, dog, that's crazy, bro.
I'm like, dog,
Hey,
what is you on? Like nobody got out of here safe. That dude is carted off. Like, what did you mean?
we
Like,
seen the man legs spin around on TV like The Exorcist.
yeah, like that, like
Hey, look,
that
it
joint was
was
wound
bad
up.
because they wouldn't replay it. That's how bad it was.
That joint was wound up like a mouse toy. Like, like shit.
Hey, hold up. Robert said Mike McDaniel be looking high as fuck. That brings me to my next. Hey, maybe he gave Tyreek Hill a little bit of a stash.
He
That's why.
gave him a bump. He gave
Hey,
him a
hey,
bump
look.
before he
Hey,
walked
hit
up.
this real quick, bro. Hit this. You're gonna need it. Hit this real quick. You know what I'm saying? That maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's why he's slick. I'm just saying. I see a lot of people get hurt and carted off. A lot of them are crying. They mad. They upset. They got all kind of range of emotions. I've never seen smiling. But cocaine will do that to you. You know, allegedly. I don't want to accuse. I don't want to accuse Tyreek Hill of taking any bumps on the way off the field.
Yeah.
I'm willing to accuse Mike McDaniel though, but I don't know if it's an accusation or it's just me saying that the sky is blue. But
Right.
but yeah, no. Another thing. Well, speaking of injuries, Mark, I want to get to this because this is something that was being talked about. Um, that they so Lamar Jackson left the game, you know, and they were saying that he had a hamstring injury.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately on social media, people were saying that Lamar Jackson faking injuries because he was losing, man.
Right.
Um, this one is a little bit less about the injury because what right now they're saying he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Um, this is less about the injury and more about uh, are the is the general public, are they starting to turn on Lamar Jackson?
The general public are they turn
I've never heard anybody say anything negatively about his work ethic. I've never heard anybody say anything negatively about his play. Really, I've heard me and you try to objectively look at his play and speak about it, but I feel like I don't ever hear this type of rhetoric around Lamar Jackson, and it just sounded pretty crazy and strange to hear. But I don't know if this is frustration from Ravens fans, frustrations from general Lamar Jackson fans, maybe they're haters. I don't know, but I just feel like not even the haters have said stuff like this. This is just something new that I'm hearing.
I don't I
Maybe
can't
I'm looking too much into it.
I can't speak to it. I don't I think it's just something that people I think it's just jokes that people will say just because of the situation and they see how bad they are and everything like that. Like I think it's like, oh, let's get our jokes off about him
Mhm.
being out there. Not being out there, whatever. But I don't know, man.
Well, I
There's
will say this, Mark. To your point, the Ravens hadn't had a start this bad since Lamar's been the quarterback. So it's not like every day they get a chance to talk trash or make jokes of this nature about
right.
about Lamar or the team. So
Right. Any update on the Bucky Irving injury?
man, all I know is that the last update I got, they said that man showed up to practice with a boot, with an orthopedic boot on his foot.
Wow.
Now, and I want to let's get into the Bucky Irving thing because it's an interesting thing. So he got hurt during the game. Okay, they said immediately following the game, they said Monday, Monday they're like he's going to get an MRI. So then Monday passes. The media asked him at the end of the day on Monday, "Hey, what's or excuse excuse me, my bad." They asked him
Uh-huh.
Tuesday morning. The media does because it's practice and all that shit. They say, "Hey, what's going on with him?" They said he hasn't gotten an MRI yet. He's trying to get other opinions. And I think it's interesting, Mark, because at that time they were saying that he didn't get the MRI yet. So it's just a weird thing that's going on with Bucky. This is why the information coming out is a little weird. It's because apparently he's refused to get the MRI before getting other opinions from other doctors.
Hmm.
Then today, on Wednesday, you have him showing up in an orthopedic boot. And they said that he's still um, taking second opinions. So right now, there is no diagnosis for Bucky Irving.
Oh no, this is a diagnosis. I'm gonna
Is
stop
there?
you right there.
Is it? Okay.
No. What the diagnosis, whatever it wasn't good.
No,
Whatever
I,
whatever
I
news he
agree.
received, it wasn't good
No,
because,
I agree.
like, Doug, like you, like, oh, I'm seeking. Anytime you hear a player talking about seeking multiple opinions, you looking for somebody to give you a glimmer of hope, and they
Yeah.
like,
Well,
and everybody that's talking to you is saying, "Nah, dog."
but what I found interesting, Mark, is usually when you get a second opinion, the first thing that happens is put the drink right there. The first thing that happens is you take whatever paperwork you have with you to the other doctor. All you have to do is take the MRI photo with you, and you take it to the other doctor, and that's how they get to give the second opinion. They look at the scans, they look at all that stuff, they look at the labs that were already done by the other doctor. That's why they call it a second opinion, Mark, because somebody has already done the legwork to give their first opinion.
Hmm.
But in this case, it was weird because it was like, yo, what about the MRI? What did it say? And it was like he's getting second opinions. It's like, oh, you didn't say he got the MRI either. So it's just like,
Right.
if seeking another opinion before you get an MRI, that also to me sounds like it's bad because you're saying to yourself, exactly what the MRI is going to say.
Right.
You don't want it. You don't want to get
Or
it.
you already have the MRI and you're just not saying right now.
Maybe.
So the answer you're saying is we're seeking multiple
Well,
opinions.
I'm saying that
But
if he does have the MRI, Mark, that means he got the MRI from somebody outside of the actual team doctor,
right. And
and that's why the team doesn't know. So
like Doug, it's like I said, it isn't good. Whatever the injury is, it's bad. Really
it,
bad.
it's
And
bad. They
and
signed it. They signed in practice squad running backs. They got what's his name ain't doing. He ain't set to do kick returns anymore.
mm,
Um, who's the is it Sean Tucker or whatever the third string running back?
I don't know.
Either way, yeah, he's just been doing kick returns this year, but he about to get some game time now. They already named
Rashad White.
Rashad White the starter. Yeah, man, I don't expect to see Bucky for a while, but it's just weird that there's no information yet. I don't know what how many opinions he needs. I don't know why it's Wednesday, and he still hasn't said anything yet. But
Speaking
sure.
of shout out to Rashad White. Rashad White, for the first time, has looked like a capable running back this year.
Mm.
Like he hasn't looked like a capable running back in any of the years that he's been in the NFL. But this year, so far, I was like, oh, Rashad White looks like he belongs out there.
Hey, that's what happens when your spot get taken, Mark. All of a
Hmm.
sudden, you got a little fire, a little passion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
when you got to play behind a younger player when you're not even old yet, you're not even old in running back years yet. That'll usually do it. Hey, look at your boy Travis Etienne looking crazy again.
yeah,
You
dog.
put that boy Tank Bigsby in the backfield for a year. He started splitting work. All of a sudden now you get rid of Tank Bigsby. Travis Etienne looked like he did his rookie season. It's
Yeah,
nuts. So, but yeah, shout out to Rashad White. He hasn't looked like that in at least 3 seasons.
yeah. So like that. So shout out to him and um Troy asks, "Is Lamar turning into the NFL's James Harden?" And he wants to hear my take on this because he knows how I feel about James.
Go ahead, Mark.
Um, I I would say in a similar path of what's happening, sure, but in the truth, no. I'm going to be serious about this. Lamar is mo in the games, most of the games that he has lost in the playoffs, he is trying, and the blame can't be laid on him. I and I'm saying most of the games, like particularly his first stint in the playoffs, that Titan loss was not on him.
Mark
That Titan,
Andrews.
huh?
Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
never gonna forget.
it's not just Mark. It wasn't just Mark Andrews. The
It
entire
wasn't.
team, huh? I think it
No,
was
you're
like
right.
I think it was like 14 drops in that game, or something like that. It
I
was
don't remember. I just remember everything was getting dropped.
Yeah, it was an astronomical number of balls being dropped in that Titans playoff game. Last year, now I think that last year is give and take because Lamar threw some picks, and then they still was in the game and they could have won the game had Mark Andrews not dropped the ball. So like that last year was 50-50. But we also had moments and years where we recently where we watched Lamar, hey man, it's 4th and 1 or it's 4th and 3 and you need this first down and you get to the outside, you only need 3 yards and you go to try to pass the ball instead of running it. Like there's you see gaps in his processing of the situation. So, but
Strange times. How's
yeah,
that?
at very strange times. But where he's not like James Harden is James Harden just doesn't try. James Harden simply just doesn't try. So I can't call him the NFL's James Harden because at least Lamar, like whether he's messing up or not, at least he's trying. James is just kind of like, well, I made my money. You guys are you guys are praising me for being this dude. I don't really care no more. And like so or like, hey man, these guys are they're playing me hard and they're focused on me. I don't feel like doing the things necessary to win this game, so I'm just not going to really try. Like so that's like I mean, without breaking it down on James Harden, that's basically what happens. So anyway, and I know somebody's going to hate that, but I
Yeah, well,
I can
first off,
totally break that.
I knew you couldn't bring yourself to compare anybody to James Harden. I knew you thought so lowly of James Harden that there's no way that you're going to sit here and put that type of label on another person. I knew you couldn't do it, Mark. And hey, shout out to you for explaining it thoroughly to make sure that people understand that there's levels to this, Mark. There's
Yeah,
levels. In James Harden, not only did he set the bar, but he sits atop the mountain. Okay, like he continues to do so. Like it's just you can set your watch to it, right? And to be real, the James Harden comparison, um, obviously they're trying to say because I saw one of the main sports media folks saying it, and they're like, "Yo, they put up all these regular season stats. You can win an MVP in a regular season. You can even have stretches during a regular season where it just seems like you're the greatest player, the greatest person to play that position." Kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like you're in that conversation because you looked at the James Harden run that he had with the 50-point games. Me and you feel differently about that run. But you know what I'm saying? You look at that, you look at Lamar Jackson where he always just has a stretch where he just looks so dialed in that you're just like, I don't see how they lose another game. And then the playoffs come and then or he's playing against the Chiefs for some but I
right.
told you, Mark, I told you last week Spags has his number, and he knows he Lamar doesn't have the tools. That coaching staff does not have the tools to help him get past the Chiefs
Right.
when they need offense. That's just my opinion. I think that's fact at this point. But yeah, no, I can see where they were going with the James Harden shit. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like I lost. I said there was no hope for James Harden a long time ago. There is still hope for Lamar Jackson to win a Super Bowl or to um, kind of straighten out his woes when it comes to specific big games.
Hmm.
So I'm not ready to put him there yet either, Mark. But yeah, like I knew you had too much disdain for for James Harden to do
All right.
that.
Well, real quick, I want to shout out to Samster because he wants this attention. So here you go, my brother. He said he had a little cute joke that said that dude on the left need to lay off the damn lotion. That bald head brighter than the Ravens' future right now. Awesome, great joke. I feel like you really put your all into it.
It would have been a better joke if the Ravens' future didn't look so grim right now. I actually call it a
But
C
that's why,
minus joke, Mark.
yeah, but that's why he said it's brighter than their future.
Well,
So
everything is right now.
yeah, so
That's what I'm saying. Like he could do better than that. Come on, man. He
so
could do a
it,
lot
so
better than that.
So with that though, that does remind me of a really excellent Ravens joke that I saw online where where there's a woman, a young white woman, she's standing she's standing there and she has a nice little Coca-Cola bottle shape going on, and it's like she sent out a picture on Twitter or something like that.
I seen it. I seen it.
Somebody responded and said, "Hey, how about you turn around and let me see that Ravens defense?"
That shit was funny, man. That shit was
That that was hilarious.
that
That was a
that
great
A
analogy.
plus plus A plus joke. You know what I'm
Great
saying?
analogy right there. That was a fantastic analogy. I was like, "Dang, dog. Ravens defense can't even catch a break on a random girl." Like,
Hey, you know what's you know what the worst part about that is? Somebody's going to this. Like she posted that she knew the type of attention that she was trying to get from the post. Somebody comes along and says something like that. Nobody even cares that you're there anymore.
right.
Nobody care. Nobody cares. Everybody's just talking about how funny this guy is. Like that shit got a sting, dog. Like you got a bunch of men here laughing at this dude's joke. Hey, that shit was quality, sir. A plus
Yeah,
plus.
very much so.
Yeah,
Um, but
but
yeah, other injuries we discussed Bucky over. Hey, just to let you guys know, in case you didn't know, Trey Benson went on IR like randomly. Just he's also on IR. Those are two, like the Bucky Irving and the Trey Benson one was like two things that happened, but you didn't really notice
no,
like in the game,
no.
and then all of a sudden on Wednesday it's like, hey, IR. Multiple opinions. You like, yo, what? When did this happen? Like,
That's what I felt. I have Bucky Irving on my team. Matter of fact, he is my flex every week, Mark, and I love having him on my team. I didn't notice anything during the game. Hey, I put up what I put up this week. I put up, I think I put up 151 in a loss,
mm,
but all my points were there. I watched. I was watching the clips. I was watching the game. I'm on NFL Red Zone. I didn't see nothing, and then all of a sudden it's hey man, went to get an MRI. Excuse me. Excuse me. Like,
right? What? What?
like that shit threw me off. Why is this? Why he got a Q next to his name?
What that mean? What that mean?
That's crazy. What's happening here, man?
But yeah, they
No, they came out of nowhere. Um,
Malik Neighbors injury did
oh,
not come out of nowhere.
uh,
Buddy landed like I think here's something.
I didn't like it.
I think these players need to learn how to do protective falls.
Yeah, they do.
I feel 100%. I feel as though these players need to do protective falls because when Malik Neighbors in the air coming straight down on one knee, Never seems like a good idea, brother. like,
Never gonna end well, Mark.
like coming flat down on a single knee. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
like him coming away with an injury there was like, yeah, no surprise here. What exactly happened here? That's crazy. Like, uh, like
Never
I think,
would have made it.
like I think players need to learn defensive fall techniques or
That's
something
right.
like 'cause-
Landing directly on your knee from the sky.
yeah,
Mark,
like
it sounds like some shit you do when you're like 5 years old and you jumping around the living room and shit, thinking this shit would look cool, and then you hit you, then you bang your knee, and you're like, "Oh crap, that was a terrible idea." You know, but
right.
you're 5, and your body not even formed to bone yet. It's all cartilage. You can get up and walk away from that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lesson you learn early in life, Mark. Well, okay, so we're talking. Let me get back to this. You're talking about protective falls, right? I just feel like um, this goes to a bigger point of mine when it comes to all these injuries. And this is something that I didn't discuss with you beforehand, but this is what I'm thinking. Like it's part of what we discussed, but it's there's no usage of sports science in football. It seems the sport, and even when you look at the sports science that they do use, it's very archaic. You know what I'm saying? Like you think about the way that they practice, you think about the way that they train. You hear a million and one stories of these specialists in basketball, that are, they got them doing these weird drills and it's supposed to help with this, or, everybody has a nutritionist. Um, like, so forget about, I know what we talked about earlier was the NFL. They should be mandating that teams provide some of this. I'm saying I don't even hear stories of individual players having a guy or having multiple guys. And it's just a very interesting thing. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the archaic nature of the game, Mark,
Mm,
or that mentality that comes with football, which is completely, totally different than basketball. But I feel like if there's a position on the field that should start that off, or that would be that position, it would be the diva position, Mark. That would say, you know what, I'm taking care of my body in this way. I'm doing this in that way. You know, outside of To Mark, I haven't heard of anybody doing anything cutting edge. And then even when you talk about other positions outside of Tom Brady and maybe Aaron Donald, I don't hear anything. So, um,
mm.
but either way, like I said, that's just interesting to me. I know you had your thoughts on the NFL doing something about it. What you want to tell the people what your thoughts are?
Um, no, not right now because I feel as though like there's other stuff to get to, and that's
Well,
oh
I did mention diva receivers, Mark.
oh, so yeah, like yeah, that yeah for sure, but the other stuff not necessarily. Other injuries that I do want to get to though, God, so many injuries that happened this week. Oh, Kyle Hamilton is questionable.
Hmm.
Um, well, a bunch of questionable stuff. I'm looking for the outs though. I don't like the. No, I don't want to see team injury. I don't like that. I don't like the way this is breaking down the injuries, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Um, all right, because I'm on ESPN right now and I'm looking at how it's breaking them down. I'm not a big fan of how it's breaking them down. So, uh, um, all right. So anyway, but you wanted to talk about you said talk well the whole episode is about diva receivers and we're not going to hold you up um
Yeah.
because listen um everybody knows because it's been national media um as far as football concerns is AJ Brown sent out a cryptic tweet, we posted it people say it's a scripture. Um, if it if it is in like I'm not familiar with what scripture it is, but if it is a scripture, it is updated into regular everyday language. It is not the King James version. So
Hmm.
so but anyway, like basically he was like, look, if you're not it goes basically if you're not listening to quietly walk away. Like, you know what I mean? Don't fuss, fight, quietly walk away. Now, today AJ Brown came out and said and took accountability for the cryptic tweet and said that tweet is not he wants to be in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is his home. He loves it here. That tweet was not directed towards anyone in the facility or in on his team or anything like that. He said it was just a tweet, but he that he was referring to something else. But he takes full accountability for whatever came from it. And to that, I say bullshit,
Thank you. Thank you.
bullshit.
Hey, Rob said that's that Chat GPT interpretation
Yeah,
of the Bible, dog. That's funny. Go ahead. Nah.
yeah. Like Doug, Doug, you're not gonna sit here and tell me you made this cryptic tweet directly after the game that perfectly fits to your perceived. I'm going to give you an out and say your perceived frustration, and and you're going to tell me, oh no, that wasn't about this. That's like that's like when you that's like when you got in trouble with your mom and then you sucked your teeth. And she was like, "Who you sucking your teeth at?" You was like,
Nobody.
"Nah, something happened at on the TV." Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what are you talking about, Doug?
Hey,
Like,
you know, remind me of Dave Chappelle skit. Wrote this song a long time ago. 94. Like, I don't know, man. It sound like you still alive, my boy. That was really current events. Nah, nah, that's not what you think it is.
yeah,
Like, nah, man, nah. It is what we think it is, man. I don't know if you have more to say because I was gonna start.
no, I do. It's just that when it comes to AJ Brown and all this entire situation, um, like it it's hard because there's so much information that's been going on, but the entire situation for me, I look at AJ Brown and I ask him, what what do you want? What do you want to see, brother? Like, what is it that you're looking for? Like, because I watched 9 routes come to you in this previous game, and I watched you be smothered for at least 8 of them. For at least 8 of the 9 routes, they were like they were on you, or I should say 8 of the 9 targets, because you ran more than 9 routes. But 8 of your 9 targets, you were smothered, my man, and yet the ball still was forced to your direction. And so, for you to have that tweet come out after you had a 9 target game is wild to me. Like I don't understand what do you want? Like, keep that frustration to yourself. Be frustrated with yourself that you let a rookie get on you like that. Be frustrated with yourself, but that tweet isn't deserved here. And like, you can be frustrated with the play calling or whatever, but you can't be frustrated with what you're what you were giving. You like, hey, give the like he said in a tweet or in a video message today, give the ball to me. Like, where in those situations where there is um like we can't move the ball, we can't run the ball, and like when he was playing against the Rams and they threw him the sluggo, and then the sluggo opened up the middle for Dallas Goddard because the safety came over uh to protect AJ. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm here for. It doesn't have to go to me, but the fact that I can affect the game that way, get the ball to me. Okay, they gave you 9 targets, and it didn't work out that way. So now what, brother? Now what? Like you got the ball. What are you looking? What are you looking for? So that is my first question to AJ Brown is what are you looking for? And my second question is, Doug, I I understand your frustration. I understand what's going on here, and I understand um I understand where you think the team should go. But at the end of the day, you have to pick and choose your battle. The battle this isn't the time for a battle at 4-0. You like you speak quietly or you speak directly to people at 4-0, you speak directly to people. And there's
And not just 4-0,
yeah,
coming off
just
of a
in
Super
general.
Bowl.
Yeah, coming off a Super Bowl as well. And just in general, and just the and there is a certain level of people being enamored with the Eagles right now. Like and that's because of the fact that we won and the way that we won last year versus what happened in 2023. So people are looking at it in a multitude of ways. And, and so there's jealousy with AJ Brown and everything. But there was a tweet put out by Zach Berman that perfectly encapsulates the Eagles and the fascination that people have with the Eagles, particularly the fans, and maybe some within the organization itself. And I'm going to read off this tweet from Zach Berman. It says, the Eagles are 4-0 with wins against at least 3 teams that are expected to make the playoffs. That's hard to do, and they should be commended for it. But the previous 2 seasons are why there's so much fascination with how they're playing. 2023 showed that you can win games, rationalize everything by pointing to the record, and the problems that were apparent in September haunt you in December and January. He goes on to say 2024 showed that the team you are in September is not the team you are in December and January, but but there's some patience and grace required while a team figures out who it is and how to best play. It is the push pull of covering the team. Which group are they? They earned the benefit of the doubt, but if you live through 2023, you understand why you can't just point to the record and rationalize for every issue. That is a perfect capsulization of what the Eagles are right now. Like you've seen it both ways. You've seen them start off hot in 2023 and
Crumble.
then you looked at every single thing and said this doesn't quite look right. And then they eventually fell apart.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people saw.
Yeah.
And in 2024, we watched them start off slow, look bad, get and then even as they're winning games, it still doesn't quite look right, but it rolls on to be a Super Bowl and not losing another game for 18 games now.
Yeah.
So, um so it's which team are they? And that I'm sure that's what's going on within the organization as well. I'm sure that's what's going on with AJ Brown and with the players. It's like, hey, we're winning. This doesn't this doesn't look great.
Yeah.
There's problems here that need
Yeah.
to be addressed. And then there's also the situation of, hey, we're winning, let us progress to where we're going
Yeah.
because we could get better.
So
And go ahead.
no, I'm gonna let you finish because I got a lot to say. So
Which is so it's like which team are they? Who will they be? And how will they finish? But for the players themselves, for AJ Brown and every other player or coach, whoever within that organization, it needs to be said to shut the fuck up. Like, hey, shut the fuck up. Whatever noise is going to happen about this tournament, whether about this team, whether it's good or bad, it needs to come from the outside. It cannot come from in here.
hmm, I, I agree 1,000%, Mark. That's it. Doesn't matter. Okay, whether we go up or down, just shut your mouth. Make sure it when anything comes out of here, it needs to be one note, one voice, right? And it's, and I know how much you love the Niners and their players, Mark.
Mhm.
The one thing that you can say is no matter how ridiculous, no matter how out of touch with reality, no matter how um, nonsensical it might have been, when we were at our best, Mark, was when we were all of our players, the coaches, the team, everybody had the same delusion, Mark. Okay, everybody had the same delusion. Okay, it so much so that they literally willed it into existence, Mark. Like they say, power of the tongue and all that stuff, man. Like I feel like this every year that we made it to the Super Bowl, Mark. I said our team wasn't good enough to win one or two playoff games.
Mhm.
And every time I would look at those teams and I'm looking at the players with their goofy ass smiles, talking about how great the team is and how much they're not worried about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it there's something to say about when all of the players are on the same chord, right? They're all on the same page, and no matter what, I feel like teams can have their problems throughout the year with that, but they have to get solved before you start playing meaningful games at the end of the season, like the games that are gonna have an effect on seeding or the playoff like atmosphere games. All that stuff has to be out of the way. Every team that I've seen have those type of problems or those types of. It might even seem like a little thing like this, like he's complaining a little bit. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. We're 4-0. I've never seen, especially in the NFL, I've never seen a team like that, Mark, make it deep into the playoffs. That's just
Right.
that's an outsider's opinion. And then the other thing about the team, everything that you said about just playing through it week to week to figure out what type of team you've already learned. You can start however you want to start. Either you fix the problems that you have or you don't. But more
Right.
than likely, if you don't, then it's going to lead to a bad result. If you do, then you're going to look back at those times when you had those problems and you're like, okay, well, those aren't big problems. No, they're not big problems now that you fixed them. Okay, they're not problems that can't be fixed. You have a whole season to do that, and you have to do it. If you don't, then it's going to linger, and then it's going to eventually bite you in the ass. So my assessment of this team right now, Mark, is the thing that is missing from this team right now, Mark, is an identity. They had a full on identity last year. You guys were running the ball with Saquon. That's what we want to do. That's how we're going to start off every game. That's how we're going to finish the games. We're going to use Saquon and we're going to open up the passing game by running the ball with Saquon. And I feel like you're kind of tiptoeing around it this season. And I feel like um, it's like if you do run the ball like the first game versus Dallas, where Saquon ran it, he didn't even run it that much yet, but he didn't get like 25 carries or anything, but he ran the ball, clock control. Jalen Hurts ran the ball, took off on a lot of passes, and then it's like, okay, as a team, we ran the ball and we controlled the clock, but now you got AJ Brown complaining. Okay, so
Uh,
but the style of play that you guys had this last game that you just escaped with was completely different than the first game, which was completely different than the second game. I just feel like there isn't a solid identity that you guys have on offense. And I feel like until you guys have that, then there's going to be a problem because AJ Brown, you can't have it to where AJ Brown either gets two targets or nine targets, or you can't have it that way. It can't be both ways. It can't be the pendulum swing can't be that great. And if your identity is running the ball first, then you need AJ Brown to buy into that. And it's hard for him to buy into it if you run the ball one day and then you're throwing him nine targets, arbitrarily throwing him nine targets the next game. So, but AJ Brown, like you said, they need to silence him. He needs to not be doing quick. Anytime you make a tweet that you feel like you need to explain the next day, then that's something that you shouldn't tweet.
Right. So, real quick, I want to address you, but I'm gonna address this very quickly. Uh,
Okay.
GV man, AJ don't like Hurts point blank. He will like that gunslinger in Arizona.
I didn't even see that comment, man. Hold
I'm only going to address this
on.
because of how silly it is. I hope that you are aware that Jalen Hurts is the godfather of AJ Brown's children. Like, and I don't know, I don't, I don't know how you guys take it or who anybody else take it, but within the black community, God Godfather is a big deal.
It is.
Godfather is a huge deal. Like,
You got to be trusting that man more than some of your family members.
right, Godfather is a massive deal within the black community. Secondly, also when AJ Brown was drafted, you want to know who was at AJ Brown's house throwing the ball in the front yard? Jalen Hurts. So, like, their connection and bond goes beyond him joining the Philadelphia Eagles. They were connected and joined since college, and they never played together in college. So that's just to inform you in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
good.
he's clearly joking, man. Talking
Now,
about alligator arms, Murray want he got that quick look, man. But based off of his joke where he's talking about he want to go to Arizona, he want to do all these things. I honestly, if AJ Brown were to leave, right?
well, he can't. Like,
No, no,
like
I'm
let's
not,
just like that's something I can let's address that as well. Um,
okay.
because every for all the speculation, everyone in the media that is doing this speculation and the trades and all that nonsense, it I wish that you did just a little bit of homework, because then you would understand me tweeting this is stupid, me putting this out here is dumb. It, he is a total $30 million dead cap hit. He is
Yeah.
a $10 million dead cap hit in 2025 and a $20 million dead cap hit in 2026.
It's,
That's not a pill that a savvy GM is trying to swallow for a top tier player. And
yeah.
because he would have to swallow that pill, the price of the brick goes way up.
Yeah.
Way up.
You have to get a haul.
Yeah, because whatever you're giving me has to offset the fact that I'm taking a $10 million hit this year and a $20 million hit next year.
Yeah. So what I will say, Mark. So I hear you and I agree with you, but it's provocative. It gets people
Because the
going.
people going.
It gets the people going. That's why you tweet it, Mark. That's why you tweet. But honestly, but I okay. He's not going anywhere. I'm gonna reword what I was gonna say. Where could he even go, Mark? To where he would be in the situation that he wants, to where he can get the target share that he wants. Rob, I'm shutting that down. It's the whole reason why I wanted to bring this up. He ain't going to New England. You got Stephon Diggs there, and Drake May is throwing to everybody. Hunter
Right.
Henry is the leading receiver on that team. You cannot. But I think Booty is the next guy. Like Stephon Diggs is the number one receiver, and he's not getting targets. He do not want to go to New England. Okay, and it's nothing about upside. It's nothing has anything to do with upside. This man is complaining about getting the ball.
Right.
Okay, there's nowhere, everywhere that he could possibly go already has a receiver that is getting over targeted. All right, the only place that exists is Buffalo, where Josh Allen is finally getting over the fact that he doesn't have to over target somebody. It's the only place he could go right now that would guarantee him the type of style of play that would guarantee that he gets the ball all the time. That's the only place he can go.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna address all three of these right here. Um, Rob, you said New England got money for it. That's not how dead cap works. Another team can't take on dead cap, bro.
they, they yes, they can pay. They can pay for it, but it still hits against the cap for the team.
Right.
If that makes sense, Rob. I know you, and I know you know this, Rob.
Yeah. So, and secondly, to Jerry, who's like, what was a Wentz? It wasn't a north of 30. Two things about that, bro. At the time when they did that, Wentz, I'm not even sure if it was north of 30, but it at the time when they did that, that was a team reset. That was a complete team reset getting rid of Wentz. They didn't have they didn't have anything to say that they were ready to win now. So taking that hit at that time comfortable because I'm starting over and they got a massive haul for a quarterback. You're not getting the same haul for a wide receiver that you're going to get for a quarterback.
You're not. It's not.
And
It doesn't happen.
and, and speaking of the massive haul, AJ Brown
Part of that.
was part of that massive haul. He was the result of part of that massive haul. Now,
Yeah.
secondly, about that today, like I said, back to the first point was they weren't ready to win, so it was a team reset. This team ain't resetting anything. We're not rebuilding anything. We're ready to win now.
I
Dallas,
will be.
go ahead.
I'll be quick about this. That's my problem with the whole thing. Is like people don't realize because it was supposed to be a rebuild. It wasn't even a rebuild. It ended up being a retool because of how great Jalen Hurts played
Right,
in that first season that he was a starter. People forget. Remember the whole thing where they were wondering if he was going to play at the end of the season, and it's like, well, you guys ain't going to make the playoffs now, so you might as well play him. And they waited till like the last game of the season to play Jalen Hurts. Everybody remembers that, right? The team was supposed to be going into a rebuild, and it happened so quickly that I can't call it a rebuild. It's just a
right,
retool, and that wasn't supposed to happen. So people might have forgotten, Mark, that that's
right.
what was going on. If I start to name the receivers that were on that team that last year that
I'm a
went,
flip the table.
you get what I'm saying? If I start naming these guys, then you'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot how bad that roster was offensively. You're gonna
Right,
forget. You just everything happens so quickly as far as the drafting process, right? Which part of that is comes from the Carson Wentz trade, right? You guys being able to draft all these defensive players and then also being able to have the money to pay people because you were able to retool with Jalen Hurts because he was still on a rookie deal. Like it was a lot that happened that got worked out really quickly with the Eagles. Nah,
right.
man. Like you can take that hit when you're not paying a quarterback.
And Troy goes to say exactly what we just said there. So, and
Yeah.
this is now to address you, Sean. You said this team lacks an identity. Well, part of the problem with the lack of identity is that the team does want to be the team that they were last year. Um, the offensive line is not allowing that because the offensive line this year is beat up. It's missing a piece and it's beat up. The off Tyler Steen. Let's start with the right guard. Tyler Steen is not Makai Becton, and that's nothing.
Nobody's Makai Becton, but continue.
And that's nothing against
Yeah.
Tyler Steen because Tyler Steen is pretty good, but you see the mistakes in Tyler Steen's game. Tyler Steen, he's doing a lot of false starting out there, and he's getting away with it right now. He's not going to continue to get away with it, but he is doing a lot of false starting, like a
Hmm.
lot of it. And then there's the other mistakes. And the second part is people don't realize, but Landon Dickerson probably should miss a game or two because Landon Dickerson came straight off of surgery back into the lineup. Like we're talking about preseason surgery back into the lineup. And Landon Dickerson doesn't quite look like himself. Last year, the Eagles before Saquon Saquon's yardage before contact last year was 3.8. This year it is the second lowest.
Hmm. Yeah.
It is the second lowest this year. Saquon before contact. So
Yeah.
that offensive line, like we know that the offensive line coach hasn't changed. The offensive coordinator has changed. But maybe maybe the way that the offensive line is schemed needs to be changed. That is a possibility. But we also know that there's been some moving pieces and players are banged up. Lane Johnson is he. This is two games where he left the game early. He left the game early against the Rams, and he left the game early against the Bucks. So we're talking about your left guard coming into the season banged up. You're probably the number one right tackle in all of football is
Hmm.
out. Is missing half of games because of what is seemingly a lingering injury,
Yeah.
and you are dealing with a replacement right guard for the right guard that you had last season. So offensive line has some things to figure out. And this goes back to the earlier comment of allow the team to figure it out. Because right now, with the offensive line playing the way that they are, you're 4-0. You're fortunate to be 4-0, but that's also due to good play on your part in other areas. So, but it at least for the Eagles, you have something that you could definitely point to and say something's not right here. This may be a little bit out of our control, and we will get there. Like players, hopefully, will get healthier, and or the players that are replacing these players will get more reps and be ready. Those are things that you could look forward to with this team moving forward.
Yeah.
But I do want to keep it on offensive line. I want to keep it on offensive line because I saw a video. I saw a video on on Facebook that had me perplexed about what was going on with this team and what were these guys thinking. Um, and I'm gonna pull it up for you guys now. Just give me a second.
Yeah, just to your point, Mark. I've seen a lot of videos. You know what I'm saying? A lot of videos from this week where some real head scratchers on the offensive line. But as a defensive coordinator, I'm sure there's a few happy ones out there because I've seen multiple clips from multiple games of defenses getting pressure or getting a sack with a three-man rush against five or six blockers. And, it's got to be a proud moment for the defensive coordinators. But
All right,
yeah, these guys need to figure it out.
all
Go
right.
ahead.
So I have it up now. All right, so this is the Houston Texans versus the Titans. Now, I'm gonna preface this because I saw an article real quick. I just saw the headline, and it says, "Should Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud get fifth-year extensions?" Putting Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud in the same category, that's diabolical because what C.J. Stroud is dealing with
Something totally different.
totally different than what Bryce Young got going on. And here's an example right here. All right, watch the offensive line here. This is a three-man rush. Look, like they showing you these two running into each other, but that's not my issue.
Oh, I know what my issue is too. Continue,
Right?
Mark.
That's not my issue. Look at the center. Look at the center. Where is he going?
there's for those that don't understand gaps. Okay, you have the A gap, which is A gap on the left or the right, which is on either side of the center. The center should not be blocking anybody else if there's somebody in one of those A gaps. It's very simple. The center's job is very clear. It is not the center's not pulling, the center's not doing anything, the center's not jumping two guys over to double team. All you have to do is
That
block one of the two people that's in the A gaps. And if there's only one person in the A gap, that's who you block. It makes absolutely no sense to me, Mark, why the center is shooting out the other direction.
like that this like why is the center going over for a triple team? Like
I,
what is happening?
did he not feel that guy breathing on his shoulder, Mark? I'm
Like
trying to understand something, man.
I
Because
have
that's
no
crazy. I've
idea.
never seen that before.
And it seems like there is and it also seems like there's some confusion on which way they're pulling the protection because it seems like some guys are going to the right or going to their left and but you have the right guard who shifted his protection
Hmm.
to the left. So
But you can
maybe
see that the play is supposed to be a run to their right. It's supposed to
right.
be to the left of screen. That's where the run is supposed to be going. Clearly, clearly, if you got somebody pulling to the opposite side, maybe it's a counter play. I don't know, Mark. All I know is, like you said, you got guys pulling on both directions. There's an entire side of the field that's incorrect.
Right. And like so let's say I was to give the center an out and say that that they're shifting the protection towards the left.
Yeah,
And
it's a
so,
counter play. Let's say
like,
that. Yeah.
so let's say they're shifting the protection towards the left. So let's say that the right guard is wrong here. All right. If the right guard is wrong and he was supposed to pick up the A gap, the center is supposed to still provide a chip on that A gap. He's not he's supposed to tap the A gap and then move towards the left. He is not just supposed to leave the left entirely. And he wasn't even looking at the linebacker to like he
Yeah,
like
I was
his
going to say I can guarantee you the play call isn't for three guys on one guy. Even if they're pulling, it's not three guys on one guy.
Yeah, I'm not yeah, exactly like, and I'm not saying about a pull, but just the fact that the protection is supposed to go towards the
Yeah,
left.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no matter what the play is, three guys on one guy isn't supposed to happen. So if there's already two guys on that person, he's supposed to be somewhere else, Mark. If it's a run play, he's supposed to be going after that linebacker. He's supposed to be going to the second level to pick up that block.
Yeah. So yeah, like that is insane, bro. Like I don't know what's going on with the Houston Texans and how they will remedy this. But I'm going to say this that uh D'Amico may be in over his head as a head coach.
Well, I can say I can. What I'll add to that, Mark, is he absolutely. I wouldn't even say he has a year because it might be too late. But he has. If he does make it through the season, he has to have an offensive coaching staff. I'm not even going to put this all on the OC. You got to have an offensive coaching staff that's competent
Yes.
because you like if questions are already coming up about whether or not you're going to take the fifth year option on CJ Stroud. If I'm the GM, my first question to D'Amico would be like, are we going to have protection for him? Are we going to have the right play calling for him? What I see on the field, the product that I see on the field today is not on him. What kind of environment will he be playing in if we're going to pay him all this money? We can't have him taking a sack on a handoff, Mark. We can't have him taking sacks on handoffs, okay? That is a problem, okay? We're not going to pay this man 50, $60 million a year for him to take sacks on handoffs, okay?
Right.
So, yeah, D'Amico, he has to figure it out. He better call some old friends. He better go ask for some advice. He better go do something, Mark, because
Right.
this
But
situation in Houston, the offensive line play has been. It wasn't just this week. It's been bad. It's been
I
bad.
uh, let me ask you. I know it's only week 4 or
Okay.
week 5 now.
Hmm.
But as a head coach, do you continue with this offensive coordinator or offensive line coach? Do you go into another week without some sort of change as a head coach?
I'll be honest with you. It's tough because I'm not a person who likes hasty moves just for the sake of saying, look, we got to change something different so I can save my job, right? But if I was in his position, I can't I can't look at this every week, Mark. And I'm not going to be complicit in just saying, well, we'll figure it out next year. So although it probably looks like I'm just doing something to save my job. Absolutely, Mark. I got to make a change somewhere. I got to go find somebody. I got to go recruit. Look, man, if I gotta talk to some college guys or some people that just happen to be out there that maybe were a position coach, specifically at this moment, I'll take any offensive line coaches out there coaching college. Look, I would be looking. I would leave no stone unturned, Mark, in trying to at least address the offensive line with an offensive line coach. But I also would be looking for coordinators, possible coordinators to hire. And
Uh,
like I know it's not a normal thing for coordinators to get fired during the year, Mark. But
if ever there was a situation, it's this one.
hey, look, man, you got to do what you have to do. And I'm telling you right now, if I saw a prospect that was available,
I would be
you'd be
calling
getting a
John Gruden
call.
today.
Say what?
I would be calling John Gruden right now. Like, hey man, hey,
Mark, let me tell you. Hey,
hey,
if I can't get you, give me a name.
right,
Give me a name. I know you know somebody. Give me a name right now of a guy that you think is ready and deserves the opportunity. That's
like
it. Hey, like you said, calling John Gruden, absolutely. Look, if you don't want to coach, fine. I'll take whatever suggestions you got. Give me somebody. I need somebody that's not the guy that's sitting in the seat right now.
this
So
you
yeah,
can't.
this is because to be honest, it sucks because every week these guys. I'm watching the defense. The defense is playing good. There's nothing you can do if the offense is off the field very quickly.
Right.
So, nah, man, there hasn't. To be honest with you, I don't think there's been anything wrong with the defense since D'Amico's been there. So, but you can't hang your hat on that while you're losing. Okay,
Right.
you gotta win. You gotta find a way to win games. Find a way to get the offense working. But yeah, nah, you got to do something, Mark.
Absolutely.
So,
All right. Um, some big games this weekend. You got the undefeated Eagles going up against the 2-2 Denver Broncos. Um, another like the Eagles, rightfully so, because they won the Super Bowl, have the toughest schedule, and this is proving to be a really tough schedule. Like Denver is a formidable team, and the
It's a
Eagles,
team that you can't sleep on. Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Like and so the Eagles have another one up. So, and while facing these injuries, it's going to be somewhat difficult. You have the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. I Now that Xavier Worthy's back, I feel as though the Kansas City Chiefs are going to roll right over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't even think it's going
I
to.
predicted. Well, you seen what they looked like last week, Mark. All of the plays that you've seen getting overthrown with Thornton, all
Hmm.
the plays that you've seen made to Thornton, you could see exactly how these plays were drawn up. They would have worked if Xavier Worthy was there. And he showed up last week, and it was like magic. Not only was he able to make the plays that he needed to make, but it completely stretched out the defense to the point to where even when he wasn't getting the ball, it opened up everything underneath.
Right.
And that's what some a player like that does. And like I agree with you. With him in the lineup on the field, there's a 0% chance that Jacksonville even competes in this game. But yeah,
Right. Now here's a game that I feel as though tomorrow night, San Francisco versus the LA Rams. I feel as though the Rams is going to roll on San
they
Francisco,
should.
simply because they should. San Francisco is a hospital ward right now. They are injured up and down that roster. There actually should be no reason why the Rams take a L to the 49ers as the 49ers are currently. Um,
Yeah.
then you have Minnesota versus Cleveland. Um, this will be Dylan Gabriel's first start. So cool.
Mark, what do we what did we say about defensive coordinators that make a living off of torturing young quarterbacks?
Hey man,
That's this game right here. You know what? I feel bad for Dylan because he's gonna see some shit that he ain't never seen in college.
people
Uh,
that are
yeah,
calling for Shador to
no,
start, don't
you don't want him starting this
you
week.
don't want him you don't want him to start this game.
Mm-mm.
Don't call for that. You don't
Yeah,
want him to start this
no. But I do want to see this game because, with all that said, Browns could win this.
game. Yeah.
As long as Carson
Yeah,
Wentz
they
is the
could.
quarterback,
Yeah.
Browns could win this because
Yeah.
the Browns defense, if
It's
there's one
good.
thing that the Browns defense can do right now, is they can stop the run, which forces Carson Wentz to throw the ball. And right now, their best weapon on offense with Carson Wentz at quarterback is Jordan Mason running the ball, which he's been successful at this season. But I do not see him, I don't see them having that success on the ground in this game. So Browns is a weird game because it's going to be two defenses going at it, and Vikings to me has the better team on paper, but Carson Wentz, I don't know, like so should be an interesting game.
Yeah. All right. So other interesting game here is Houston versus the 1-3 Houston Texans versus the 1-3 Baltimore Ravens. This should have been a game where I would expect the Baltimore Ravens to just roll, but now that Lamar Jackson is out, this game actually becomes interesting in a game where the Ravens, where they were more than likely just circling a victory there, now it's a huge question mark for them.
I trust Cooper Rush. I've seen enough from him in a Cowboys uniform um, in this scenario to say that they should win the game. I do acknowledge that the play style that the Ravens play is not exactly matching to Cooper Rush's play style. But the fact of the matter is, this might be a game, Mark, where Derrick Henry gets 25 touches,
Hmm.
and that is the reason why I'm saying they have a good chance to win, or I believe they're going to win this with Cooper Rush because it it forces the Ravens to actually hand the ball off.
Right.
So I expect that style of play with him, taking his passes in between, they're going to protect Cooper Rush from having to make any plays really with his arm. So I do see that, but it is sad, Mark. It is sad that we got to sit here and analyze a game between the Ravens and the Texans at this juncture, but that's what it is right
Right.
now.
All
um,
right. Is there any teams that you or any games rather that you were looking forward to?
Honestly, um, looking at the schedule, I mean, I have my own separate reasons for looking forward to this game. Uh, Cowboys Jets. I want to know how bad the Cowboys are, Mark, because it feels like if you got the Cowboys on the schedule, you're liable to score 40.
Hmm.
Okay, and the Jets are terrible, but I have a secondary reason why I want to watch this game. I have Justin Fields starting at quarterback for one of my fantasy leagues, Mark, and I got a good feeling about it. I got, who knows? Justin Fields could go off for 100 yards on the ground versus the Cowboys right now. There's
Hmm.
no telling what type of numbers he puts up. But with that said, because I'm expecting Justin Fields to have a good game against them, they still have Brees Hall. I see this as a losable game for the Cowboys, Mark. And like I said, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think you're going to see a lot of turnovers. This is one of those games where mediocre to bad football makes a great game.
Hmm.
So that's it.
Yeah. All right. Um. All right. So that's all I have. That's all I have for this episode. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we head out of here?
Nope. What I have something, but I can save it for next episode.
Okay. All right. So saving it for next episode.
Yep.
Got it. All right. Um. All right. So with that being said, guys, I think we're going to end it here. Uh. So yeah, we're going to end it here. We appreciate you guys for watching. As always, sticking in, joining us for the jokes and laughs. We appreciate that. We like that. Samster, shout out to you, whoever you are. Um, Rob, as always, it's a pleasure. Troy, it's a pleasure. And anyone else that joined in between, thank you for joining. Link, like, subscribe. You know the deal. And remember, as always, it's only entertainment. And never has that been more real. Um, make these bets responsibly, man. That's all I gotta say about that. Unless you Sharice, keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to you
Yeah.
because you're balling in the bet game. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, man, we appreciate it, man. Hey, and also, uh, this is the week of the crash out. Apparently, football players crashing out on Twitter. Uh, Female rappers crashing out on Twitter. Just don't be one of them.
Yeah. Don't
Don't
be a crash out.
don't be a crash out. Don't be a Twitter crash out.
Don't be talking crazy about people's kids, man.
Yeah, man. Keep it PG.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Peace.